Hi, I'm JMCR 71795, and I'd like to speak about a bit of a misconception that some YouTube people seem to have about my opposition to homeopathy. Just because I'm against something doesn't mean I am for something else. The two do not follow. I'm against homeopathy because it's a crock. It is anti-science. There is no evidence whatsoever that it is anything more than a placebo. But that does not make me for pharmaceutical corporations. When drugs are made, when scientists do the research to come up with them, they have to go through a series of double-blind tests, which essentially test them against placebos to see if they are something more than an actual placebo effect. They will note problems with it, perhaps, or they won't do studies long enough or financed sufficiently because they're pushed through by the CEOs, the corporate elite of these pharmaceutical corporations, to push these drugs past the trials into the hands of the public, into doctors who push them into their patients because they believe that they will cure them or help alleviate symptoms of certain diseases or such like this. But a lot of the side effects can be very nasty and very harmful, at least to a small part of the population. Not every drug is going to work the exact same on every single person. Humans are chemical factories. We manufacture many different types of chemicals in our body, in different areas of our body. And how our bodies will react to the specific chemicals that we are ingesting will vary from person to person. But is it wrong to produce an anti-cancer drug which will, say, give heart attacks in 1% of the people who take it, when it cures 99%? The problem is the greed, not the drugs, not the science. What you homeopathic retards are forgetting is that there is nothing in homeopathic remedies to start with. Nothing. Magic doesn't fucking work, stupid. You can't shake something up and figure, oh gee, it's gonna make it more potent. Yup. Oh, give me a fucking break. It doesn't fucking work. It's a placebo. It's in your fucking head. I don't take fucking drugs. I don't take anything other than like penicillin when I have a bad infection. That's the only thing I'll fucking take, because I don't like taking drugs, because I'm not a hypochondriac. I smoke my tobacco. I've smoked it for a long time. I'm addicted to it. I understand its chemical effects. I don't really give a shit. I've always known it was bad for me. How could inhaling smoke not be bad for you? Take responsibility for your own fucking actions. Just because you're a goddamn hypochondriac, that you go whining to a doctor that, oh, you got this problem or that problem, blah, 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 blah. So, well, doctors can't prescribe placebos anymore like they used to without informing you that, hey, you're taking a placebo. Which is a pity, because then it would free up the medical system, particularly here in Canada, which is a very low cost to free medical system. And so we are filled with these goddamn hypochondriacs who go to the doctor, to the hospital or such, with every little stupid ache and pain thinking, oh yes, give me a drug, it will cure me. Well, no, they're not. Because there's nothing fucking wrong with you to begin with. Antidepressants, way too overprescribed. And I've tried all kinds of alternative medicines. And they're nothing. They're a placebo effect. There are the odd thing that will work. For instance, if you have a skin problem. A number of years ago, I got chicken pox as an adult for the first time in my life. Calamine lotion made it worse. Made me absolutely nuts with itching. So I talked to some native elders, some friends, who are into native herbal medicines and such. And they suggested I try alder bark. That is, infusing a bath with the bark, fresh bark from young alder trees, and lay in that. I did that. It was wonderful. It worked beautifully. Beat the hell out of calamine lotion. But that's the tannic acid. And that's the effect of the tannic acid, the chemicals within it. There's actually something in there. But your homeopathic medicines have nothing. They're diluted to the point that there's nothing left. And then magic, or potentializing, is supposed to work? Wait, how? Give me a fucking break. It doesn't work. It can't work. It's non-science. It's nonsense. Get a fucking grip on reality. Read science. Understand how it works. No, pharmaceutical medicines do not necessarily work. Not for everyone. But let me tell you, you have a massive internal infection. You have a horrible fucking disease like leprosy, tuberculosis, malaria, AIDS, HIV. And what's going to help you? What is going to fight that sort of thing when your body cannot fight it? The body is a marvelous machine, marvelous fucking thing that has evolved over thousands, millions of fucking years. Not the human body, but organisms on this planet, living organisms, have evolved for millions and millions and millions of years. And it is a constant battle between our parasites, like malaria, and our body's ability to keep up fighting them. Sickle cell anemia comes from having two genes that are mutations that protect you from malaria. When you got two copies, you got sickle cell anemia, which is very bad. You got one copy, you are protected against HIV/AIDS, or against malaria rather. Europeans have something else, another genetic mutation on our genome, which helps us more resistant against HIV/AIDS, which happens sometime in our fucking past. But the point I'm trying to make is our bodies can heal themselves. There are marvelous organisms for doing that. But just because you're a fucking hypochondriac with a little bit of sniffles or such, and you take a few fucking potentialized fucking medicines, which are actually nothing but water, sugar water, and oh, you suddenly feel better a couple days later. So, well, your body just cured you. You know, it wasn't the placebo. Okay? Get a grip. Read some science. Understand what really happens with your body, with this marvelous organism that is the human body. And realize too that homeopathy is even bigger crock of shit than the pharmaceutical companies pushing all kinds of goddamn drugs that we do not need. And doctors who push all these goddamn drugs that we do not fucking need. But at least with the drugs that the doctors prescribe, they're at least tested. None of these homeopathic ones are. Not in a double-blind test. Not against placebos. And the reason why is because they are placebos. They are nothing more than placebos. Get a grip. You're being fucking robbed. They're con men, they're con artists, and they're so full of shit. Educate yourself. Don't be so stupid. Educate yourself.